We come now to avarice, the fifth deadly sin, the sin of Mr. Howell, right? Avarice. Here's Thomas Aquinas describing avarice. It's the unreasonable or immoderate desire for riches. Okay? The unreasonable or immoderate desire for riches. We're allowed to own private property. In the Catholic Church's social teaching, we are allowed to own private property. Nothing wrong with wealth in itself. But when it becomes unreasonable or immoderate, we have the deadly sin of avarice. You might say the greedy attachment to material things, that's avarice. There's an old term in the spiritual masters, concupiscence. Concupiscencia. It means errant or twisted desire. We can have a concupiscent desire for material things. See, here's an image I want you to play with. Most of us think we're unhappy because we're missing something. Mind you, we're all unhappy, everyone in this room. I don't mean depressed. What I mean is we're all hungry, right? What did Bruce Springsteen say? Everyone's got a hungry heart. Right? That's echoing St. Augustine, right? Lord, my heart is restless till it rests in thee. That means I'm always yearning. C.S. Lewis saw the same thing. He called it joy, this deep, searching yearning for a good that I know only inchoately but don't yet possess, right? I can't get no satisfaction, said Mick Jagger. The same thing. There's very great wisdom in that, you know? I try and I try and I try. And when he wrote that song, he was, 25? He was at the top of the world, one of the most famous, richest person going. All the sex, pleasure, money, power you could want, right? And yet he said, I can't get no satisfaction. Good. See, most of us think the reason we're unhappy is there's something missing. I've got to fill up. So, I don't have enough wealth. That's my problem. I don't have enough pleasure. That's my problem. Enough power, enough honor. I got to fill up the empty cage of the ego, and then I'll be happy. Right? Now, fellow sinners, fellow addicts, because it's all a type of addiction, isn't it? We all know it's false, don't we? What alone fills you? And this is the supreme paradox upon which all of Christianity rests at the end of the day. What fills you is not throwing things in the empty cage, but rather giving your life away in love. That's what fills you. Now, why? Because, see, that is the divine life. That's who God is. Augustine, right? My heart's restless till it rests in you. Well, who are you? You are love. Right through. That's all God is. God gives himself away. Therefore, when we give ourselves away in imitation, we get filled up with the divine life. That's how it works. That's the formula. I've staked my life on it. I'll bet you $1 million it's true. I stake my life on it. It's John Paul called it, the law of the gift, right? That your being increases in the measure that you give it away. Now, take that to the bank spiritually. Take Gilligan's Island away and take that away today from my talk. Is your being increases in the measure that you give it away. Avarice, and it might be avarice for wealth or for pleasure or for power or for honor, will make you miserable, not happy. Let those things flow through you as a gift to others, and you'll be filled with the divine life. That's the point here. What's the antidote, the lively virtue? Is generosity. God is the opposite of avaricious. God is the one who gives. That's all he does. The Father gives away. That's the Son. The Son gives back. The mutual giving of Father and Son, we call that the Holy Spirit. Right? God is a community of self-giving love. The world is meant to imitate him. So generosity is the lively virtue here. Some practical advice. This is hard stuff. I find it hard. But I'll encourage you, and I'll encourage myself at the same time. Especially now during Lent, the remaining weeks of Lent where we talk about almsgiving as one of the practices of Lent. Give something away now in each of the remaining days of Lent. Find something, you know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. But go into your closet, into your home, into whatever. Give something away now every day for the rest of Lent. One thing that's a really good spiritual exercise, by the way, clean out your closet on a regular basis. I don't mean dust it. I mean, go through your closet. Gosh, when's the last time I wore that shirt? When's the last time I wore those? Do I really need all these pants and shirts and sweaters? Priests get a lot of sweaters for some reason. Is that true? We get gifted with sweaters all the time. I think about 30 sweaters in my closet. Well, I mean, and I like 4 or 5 of them that I tend to wear. But there they all are. Gathering dust. Give them away. You know the line from John Chrysostom still takes my breath away. If you've got 2 shirts in your closet, John Chrysostom said, one belongs to you. The other belongs to the man who has no shirt. Let that sink in sometime. Here's Pope Leo XIII in Rerum Novarum, the founding document of the Church's social teaching. He said, once the demands of necessity and propriety have been met in your life, everything else you own belongs to the poor. Now let that sink in. It's stated broadly enough, you know. Once the demands of necessity and propriety have been met in your life, do I have really what I need? And even to have kind of a proper life. Okay. Once that's set, everything else you have belongs to the poor. That's Leo XIII. Echoed by all the popes, including John Paul II. How about for the rest of Lent? Every time you leave the house, have a little poor box by your door. Every time you leave, you put something in it. Dime, dollar, 10, I don't know what it is. It's up to you. But every time you leave, put something in it to remind you of the poor. Father Scott will be happy to hear this one, but tithing, is an ancient biblical practice. To tithe is to give 10% of your income to, now, the church, to Father Scott, to a charity, whatever you want. But figure your income. I don't know, you make $75,000 a year, you make $100,000 a year, $200,000, whatever it is, take 10% of it. Give that away. Hard? Yeah, it's meant to be.